Yuval. Salutations and a clenched fist salute, YouTube renegades. Welcome, y bienvenidos once again to the one and only Outlaw News, the small 1,900 plus nobody platform on YouTube that sprays the YouTube yarda with a flare-tip can of Grylon Clecha. I am your host, the YouTube Magonista, the Cholo journalist, the voice of the barrio, the voice of the Vato Loco, the voice of the voiceless. Que pasa, pinche cyber raza? I hope all is well today in cyber Vato land, and everyone is here today either 113 or 114% activated and strapped with their critical thinking beanies on extra tight, homeboys. So if you think you're suited and booted, y listo for acción, let's get activated, YouTube renegades, and kick it off with our official outlaw credo. Though we outlaws shall surf through the dark valley of snitch influencer platforms, an outlaw shall fear no snitch influencer's lies or manipulation. Now that we set the tone today with our official outlaw credo, let's get activated, YouTube renegades. Okay, YouTube renegades, I'm going to try to keep this video short. I just wanted to shoot you guys something since I haven't been able to do a video in a long time. I've just been going through a lot of health issues, a lot of personal things, but things are getting on track. I'm getting everything, under control. But I just want to do this video on the recent interview that was done on the Hoodstocks of one Johnny Martinez, an alleged so-called prison boogeyman gang leader. Now, I thought it was a really good interview, YouTube renegades. I encourage each one of you to go on, and I do not like Hoodstocks, and I'll explain why. But I encourage you to go on to Hoodstocks and watch the Johnny Martinez video. Give it a thumbs up so it helps get around. Give it a good comment and listen to exactly what he says. And then I also would like you to go on to the YouTube platform Solid Behind Blue Eyes, which is a YouTube channel that has lives from Brent Daniels, another alleged prison gang shot caller. These individuals not only were in Pelican Bay Shoe, but were instrumental in the hunger strikes and end hostilities. And I want you to pay attention to both of them, how both of them say the exact same thing. Their stories are almost the same about talking about pay attention to the media and how the media does character assassinations. Pay attention. Active stories always remain the same. Snitch influencers change them every time they get confronted with their lies. But let's not fall out of track from where we're going. So, like I said, I really enjoyed the interview. I think Johnny did a really good job at navigating and making sure that Hoodstock's host, Lucky, didn't bait him into saying something that the feds or CDCR or law enforcement can use against him. Because they have before. For those who know, and I don't know, I haven't mentioned it, and I should have mentioned it, and this is what I have on Kev Mac, on Cotton Kev Mac Smith, that in fact, Kev Mac's content was actually used already before in several cases against certain individuals, but his content was also used to convict and railroad another individual that was part of the hunger strikes and the end hostilities. Little Doc Thorne, the individual who was instrumental in organizing the Latino and black gangs in Los Angeles for a peace treaty. Kev Mac's content was used to frame and railroad him. So that's why I was worried about Johnny when he did his interview. If you go on to the Johnny Martinez interview, you'll see my comment where I even say that please don't let this guy bait you into saying something that could be used against you. Because, in fact, contrary to what people think, that Hoodstocks is an active channel, it is not an active channel. It is 113% a snitch influencer channel. So I am glad that Johnny and his mom were able to go on there and use a snitch influencer platform to get the word out, because there's over 20,000 plus people that saw that interview. So we were able to use a snitch influencer's platform against them. So hopefully the message gets out about the truth, what really happens behind the walls. But let me explain to you what I mean real quick about Lucky. Lucky's a real shady guy. I know you guys are probably saying, why are you saying that? Lucky's probably the only active that has integrity, like you, Outlaw. He doesn't fuck with snitch influencers or people who associate with snitch influencers. Haven't you seen the video where he kicks Wedo off his show because he talks to Flacco from convict's perspective? That video was staged. That's why that happened at the end. That was staged. Just like the lefty gunplay, so-called fade. Those are staged. They're not real. It's for entertainment. It's bullshit. And I'll prove it to you, because for those of you who know, the one interview or video that actually brought Lucky notoriety and fame on YouTube was a video he did with an individual by the name of Shooter, who did a very good interview about Pelican Bay, the hunger strikes, and all this and that. But if you pay close attention to him, when Lucky's asking him what the hunger strikes and the end of hostilities is all about, according to Shooter, he claims that it was over candy bars, more rec time, and telephone calls, which is fucking bullshit. Okay? Which completely bullshit. The end to hostilities and the hunger strikes had to do with way more than that. Real legal stuff. Real prisoners' rights demands. Not frivolous little shits. See? But I don't want to go sidetrack from that. What I do want to point out is that in his second interview that Shooter did several months later, after he garnered support, fame from everyone thinking that he was this super active guy that paroled from Pelican Bay, he did a follow-up interview on Lucky's channel, where if you listen to him carefully, he says he was removed from 2 prisons for being a fucking dope fiend.
And he's like, yeah, Shooter from Paris was gonna get stabbed if he gets back on the yard. And I'm like, there's no truth to that. There's no relevance to that. I can go wherever you want. They're like, okay, well, due to that, we're gonna endorse you to Pleasant Valley. No.
He's a fucking dropout. He ended up on the same prison yard that L from APA and fucking Powder were on. And as a matter of fact, he's in an SNY one right now. And you know who was raising money to put money in his books? L from APA and Tony from Stories Written from Lying SNY Prisoners. 2 fucking snitch influencers were raising money for Shooter. They don't do anything for actives, okay? But that's not the only one I know. Lucky's also had Bozo, the Studio Sureño rapper, on, which I've already proven 113% to be a fucking dropout, right? A fake homie whose job is to instigate racial beefs between Latinos and blacks and to instigate a new war between North and South. He's a fucking dropout, a piece of shit. Okay, but he's not the only one he's had on that channel, right? Remember, he has integrity. He's also had an individual, a so-called homie comedian by the name of Young Beebs. Young Beebs pretends he's active, tries to act like he's active, but for those of the individuals who pay attention, the fucking idiot paroled from Patton Mental Hospital for the Criminally Insane. You do not go to Patton's Mental Hospital for the Criminally Insane for some shit you do in prison. You were ordered there by a judge, and it's somehow related to some crime you committed going to prison that gets you to go there. That fool is a fucking J-cat. He's not active. Not the only one, though. He also had an individual by the name of Dino, who happens to be the son of a firefighter, who also is a dropout. And for those of you who remember, when Powder tried to break off from Stories Written from Lying SNY Prisoners and start his own YouTube channel, Dino was the individual who ran the channel. for powder. Okay? But Lucky has integrity. He also interviewed, is the guy, I think the idiot's name is Alex, I don't remember, it's a stupid crippled Trumper guy who started that fucking extreme right-wing Latino group Lexit. That individual was interviewed on Mundo Mendoza's channel by some of Mundo Mendoza's law enforcement handlers. And so was also another one of Lucky's guests, which is the individual Johnny, the Asian gangster guy who turned Christian. Him too was interviewed on Mundo Mendoza's channel by Mundo Mendoza's law enforcement handlers, long before appearing on Hoodstocks. Then he's got that idiot, Brian Lonely James, I think the guy's name, and Mohawk Mike, I think was on there too. Those guys paroled from a 50-50 yard in Tehachapi. Okay? If you pay attention to these guys, they choose their words wisely in how they say it. And it takes a person who knows in order to figure it out and weed through their fucking bullshit. But he says himself in his interviews, very slick and smooth, that he paroled from a 50-50 yard. Okay? And that's not the only individuals. He's got numerous other individuals, but I don't want to get sidetracked from this. I want to talk about the Johnny interview. And like I said, it was a fucking killer interview. A really good interview. Considering it was only an hour long, it was a really good interview. And certain things I want to point out in that interview. I thought it was extremely hilarious how a lot of people were wowed and amazed that a alleged prison gang leader, shot caller, whatever you want to call him, and I say alleged because I know there's no proof to prove it, and for those who say he is, I would like you to shoot the fucking proof in a link in my comment section. But anyways, I thought it was so hilarious how people were wowed and surprised that an individual connected to a prison organization that he's rumored to be part of would go and talk, because actives don't talk. Yep. According to my favorite snitch influencer, they'll tell you, who's brainwashing me and programs me into submission to believe that actives don't talk. This is what I talk about, YouTube renegades, how the overwhelming majority of the people who follow the prison genre, and I mean everything, the books, the media, the fucking fake mini documentaries, all the bullshit, not just the snitch influencers on YouTube, all believe the notion, of which they've been programmed to believe, that no way, no how will an active ever talk. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from Johnny. I am fucking 113% glad that he did an interview. I wish he could do more interviews, find more platforms, and speak. Call, just keep your voice out in a public platform to break that fucking psychological program of most people, so they start forgetting the whole fucking notion actives don't talk. Now, like I said, I don't want to take away from him, but I do want to point out these certain things that I mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. 1974, the alleged founders of La Familia Mexicana, the precursor to the Mexican Mafia, actually gave interviews to an anthropologist named Ted Davison, who used solely interviews from the founders of La Familia Mexicana, the precursor to the Mexican Mafia, and information straight from CDC/CDCR to publish a book called Chicano Prisoners, The Keys to San Quentin. Before publishing this book, he gave copies to the founders of La Familia Mexicana, which all gave the thumbs up of approval for this book. In this book, I don't know what chapter it is, but there's a chapter in there that's called Baby Mafia Family. In that chapter lies its bylaws, constitution, and it lays out when they formed and the reason why they formed. So this whole notion of activists don't talk, and I can point out a book from 1974 that was given the thumbs up from the founders of what would be called the Mexican Mafia, and people in 2023, 24 are like just getting the notion that an active actually talks. And I also would like to point out that in August 24th, 1971, Rudy Cheyenne Cadena, along with other members of what would be called, and several years later, the Mexican Mafia, and also members of La Nueva Familia, which would later be called Nuestra Familia, gave an interview to the Los Angeles Times. That's not the only one. You guys are aware that George Jackson, the so-called alleged, even though he's not, but if we go by the rumors, alleged leader of the Black Guerrilla family and founder, wrote several books, gave newspaper interviews, and television interviews. But fucking people in this day and age, actives don't talk. It's fucking amazing how stupid these snitch influencer fanboy groupies are. And some of these individuals have no clue how brainwashed they are to believe activists don't talk. Johnny Martinez's mom has been on Democracy Now! That I know of at least 2 times, speaking on his behalf. Anytime Dolores Canales speaks, it's basically stamped by Johnny, speaking for Johnny. So let's just say it's him speaking. He's been talking. He's written books. He's done not books, he's written letters. I believe he's had several letters probably put in, was it Prison Legal News or Prison Focus. But they're out there, okay? Arturo Castellanos from Florencia has a fucking letter that was published. 2 letters that have been published. It amazes me, okay? Luis Bala Talamantes wrote a book. He's been interviewed by Prison Legal News and Democracy Now! Too. Okay, I can keep going. I know of letters from Frankie P., Güero Shy, Apache Alvarez, let's see who else I could think of. Hugo Pinell, Ronnie Yondell, Todd Ashker. Todd Ashker's been on Democracy Now!
Greetings. My name is Todd Ashker, and I am from the Pelican Bay State Prison Short Corridor Collective Human Rights Movement. I am a principal representative of all similarly situated prisoners subject to long-term solitary confinement.
But yet, in this day and age, people are just comprehending that activists have always talked. But let me go on to my next subject, and that is the fact that if you pay attention, most of the time Johnny was talking, he was talking about that people need to question the informants that are used in these so-called RICO cases or cases against gangs, right? Question the media. Don't believe what they're saying because it's just attempts to assassinate them. That if you actually do your homework, you'll see that in fact, that there's no evidence to prove the overwhelming majority of allegations that are made against him and most other alleged prison gang leaders. And I say that to say this because, correct me if I'm wrong, but do the snitch influencers would the snitch influencers not be considered a part of that fake news media that's used to assassinate his character and along with other individuals' character? Because these individuals, when they do their profiles and they speak on alleged prison gang leaders, correct me if I'm wrong, do they not regurgitate word for word what the fake news media says? Do they cross-reference their information? No. Do they talk to actives? No. All they do is receive information that they regurgitate from the media and CDCR. Right? But they tell you people like Johnny are collecting taxes, especially morons like that idiot Renegade Media, that Johnny's collecting taxes from everybody in Orange County, and that he's got Orange County on lock, and that if he gets out, he'll probably fucking put Orange County in chaos and cause wars and tax everybody and oppress everybody, right? That fucking idiot, jack off, J9 don't know shit. Because I guarantee you 113% he can't provide one proof that Johnny is collecting any money from anybody. As a matter of fact, Johnny and his mom have requested from law enforcement and CDCR to audit his inmate account so it can be proven that the money he has in his account does not come from illegal gains. And the reason I want to bring these snitch influencers up with the interview with Johnny Martinez is you guys are aware that Johnny Martinez has multiple, and I mean over 100 letters from politicians, activists, clergymen, and I'm talking about people from out of the country, not just in California and the United States. He's got people from other countries supporting him that he should be out. He deserves another chance. He should be paroled. He should be given a chance of bail, freedom. Who the fuck does Jackoff J-Hands from Renegade Media have speaking for him? He doesn't have no fucking clergy people speaking up on his behalf. He hasn't done shit. He's got no boots on the ground doing anything for his old community or anyone else's community. All he does is spread gossip, lies, and instigate fucking drama. That's all he does. And fucking rap lyrics of shit he does not belong to. His fucking lyrics are fucking straight Buster Rhymes.
Back against the wall, CL20's knocking rated. IGI tripping, validated, shoot ready.
It's talking about being validated and going to the shoe. The motherfucker's never been validated, never been to the shoe. He's a fucking level 2 Oklahoma non-active fucking buster. And I do not call righteous northerners busters or anyone from Northern California a buster. He's a buster because of his fucking lies and the bullshit he spreads. Okay? He tells you that the Mexican mafia collects taxes, millions of fucking dollars. He can't provide one court case, one seized asset, one business has been taken from any individual that's alleged to be taxing anybody. And the motherfucker talks shit, right? That guy's a fucking clown. But it goes across the board for all the snitch influencers. Okay? Johnny Martinez is in jail. From jail, he's been able to help organize the end to hostilities, the hunger strikes. He's involved with organizing peace treaties in his old neighborhood and other neighborhoods throughout Orange County. Okay? That's not being publicized in the media. What the fuck have the snitch influencers done? They haven't done shit. And how many of them is there? And none of them have done shit. None of them have half of the individuals supporting them that Johnny has, right? Look at Flacco. Flacco fucking's a dope fiend, right? Isn't he on bail right now for shooting 2 people? One who's a woman? What the fuck have these snitch influencers done to help their community, right? But claim that they push a positive message, right? And yet they try to smut an individual up like Johnny Martinez. Fuck them fools, okay? That's why I don't like the snitch influencer community, because they're a bunch of fucking loudmouth talking fucking lames, okay? It's got nothing to do with being hater, jealous. They're fucking lying pieces of shit. And I prove it every time I drop a video that they're fucking liars, pieces of shit. So I reiterate my question. Name one fucking snitch influencer that's done half the shit that Johnny Martinez has done for his old community and other communities, and also prisoners as a whole, right? They haven't done shit. They're fucking scum, bums, dope fiends, con men who fucking beg their viewers for money with prison boogeyman fairy tales. And I can prove that because they all say that about Johnny, that Johnny's taxing everybody. Johnny's doing this. Johnny's the fucking Al-Qaeda-like terrorist of Orange County, they say, right? The individual has been to court 4 times. 4 different fucking judges has gone through his evidence and not found one piece of evidence that he collects any money from anybody, that he's extorting anybody, or that he's in contact with any criminal activity on the street. Okay? It's a fucking snitch that came out and spread rumors, lies, and conned a few other individuals on the street to do some dumb shit so they can blame Johnny for it. The last thing I want to touch on this interview of Johnny Martinez on Hood Stocks, and it kind of connects to what I just spoke on, is the fact that if you pay attention, when Lucky asked Johnny what would he do if he got out and had a taste of freedom, Johnny said that he would become a lawyer and that he would help other individuals like him out because he knows the way the system manipulates people. Okay? I want you to think about that for a moment. This guy is allegedly, supposedly, and I don't believe it, and I can prove that a lot of that shit is bullshit, allegedly a prison gang shot caller, right? That he extorts millions or trillions of dollars from other gang members in Orange County, that he oppresses other gang members in Orange County. But yet, well, show me the money. Show me a snitch influencer that's testified that they collect money for him. That, hey, look, this is where I send it to. Look, this is who's collecting it. But they're all ex-heavy hitters, right? That collected taxes, right? For these individuals. Fucking bullshit. But anyways, Johnny said he wants to be a lawyer. Think about that for a moment. An individual, the way he's smutted up by the media and the fucking snitch influencer community, says he wants to be a lawyer, and he will be a fucking damn good one if he gets given the chance to. A fucking killer lawyer. I will hire him. I'll tell you that right off the bat. I would hire him. That fucking guy is a very good lawyer. Just like Todd Ashker, just like Steve Castillo. These guys are fucking good lawyers. A lot of the individuals that were in Pelican Bay shoes are very knowledgeable of the law. Extremely knowledgeable of the law. They're highly intelligent individuals when it comes to law. But Johnny said he wants to be a lawyer, and I don't think you guys really think about what he's saying and the possibility of it being true, okay? Because again, like I told you, what has the snitch influencer community done? One guy's on bail for fucking shooting 2 people. One's a woman. Jackoff J-Hands hasn't done shit. Boxer Mendoza's never testified against anybody. Michael Thompson's a fucking liar. I've proven many times that Muno Mendoza's a piece of shit fucking liar too. Rene Boxer Enriquez is a fucking liar. Not one of these individuals who has influence, money, resources has done anything to better their fucking community. Nothing. And Johnny is saying, let me out. I want to be a lawyer. And the reason I say that is because if you guys know what I know, and know who Steve Castillo is, another alleged prison shot caller supposedly linked to the Mexican mafia, that individual actually filed the cases which was the precursor to the Ashker law settlement. He's actually the first individual that challenged the shoe system and started bringing out this information of how they're being railroaded and framed to be set up in the shoe. Okay? Steve Castillo was paroled a few years back. Currently, right now, Steve Castillo is a paralegal who helps families of incarcerated people in Los Angeles. Okay? So think about that for a moment. Another individual that's supposedly taxing the streets, ordering murders from his fucking Pelican Bay shoe, is currently out right now on the streets helping families of incarcerated people, using the knowledge he got while he was in the shoe about the legal system. Okay? So, it's not out of the realm of possibility that 1, the snitch influencer fucking liars, and 2, Johnny will become a fucking good lawyer. And I want you to think about this. Bala Talamantes has been out since 1976. has not had no criminal connection to anything, even though boxer Enriquez in his book claims that in the 90s, Bala was the highest ranking MN in the streets. Bala has had not one connection to anything illegal since being out of prison in the 70s. He's an accomplished author. He's a lawyer's legal aid. So he helps people who are incarcerated. His writings have been published in Prison Legal News and also Prison Focus. Okay? He is an accomplished author, activist, right? He's actually done shit for his community. He has his boots on the ground with his community. Okay? He does shit. Not like these snitch influencers who just give me money for my fucking lies, I say. And I also want to tell you this. Ralph Chispa Sandoval was also released in 1975. Started a fucking organization to help the incarcerated people and the people in his community. He has no relationship to anything criminal activity, but yet he's allegedly one of the founders and original members of supposedly the Mexican Mafia, right? These individuals are helping their community have their fucking boots on the ground. As a matter of fact, rest in peace, Chispas, because he's dead. Okay? These individuals were labeled, smutted up, and trashed the way they try to do Johnny right now. And these individuals defied all odds, put boots on the ground, and did something for themselves, others incarcerated, and their community. What the fuck have the snitch influencers done? Shit. Nothing. Oh, they organized a so-called unity fight? Really? What unity came out of it? Nothing. I want you guys to think about this for a moment. This is how these clowns psychologically fuck everybody. Supposedly had a unity fight, right? It's not about North and South, but we're promoting it that this guy's from the North and this guy's from the South. Subconscious notion, battle between North and South, but we're not promoting that shit, right? Was nothing more than a fucking snitch influencer battle fight, right? But what I want to point out to this, how many of you guys have been to a family boxing match or what, a barbecue, watch a boxing match, pay-per-view event, right? Where's the fucking unity? Half the family is rooting for another boxer. Half the other family is rooting for the other boxer. They're both insulting each other during the fight, subconsciously creating division amongst people. Raza. That's how they manipulate us. If they could have held any other event that would have brought both groups together that could sit there and talk about issues, problems, and solutions. But what do? Get people together and divide them because, Cholo Trucker's gonna win. No, fucking Ratas Collective's gonna win, right? Right? Dividing and conquering people. There's no unity in fucking boxing events. They're entertainment and that's all they are. But they cause division because you'll see brother trashing brother, dad talking shit to his dad talking shit to his son, right? My boxer, I'm going for this boxer, I'm going for that boxer. Division. That's what they spread. But let's not get sidetracked. Like I said, Johnny wants to be a lawyer, right? I can't think of one snitch influencer that can compare to the status of a lawyer, right? Now, I know some of you guys are probably going to leave on the comment, oh, you forgot about Kilroy. What about Kilroy? Kilroy came out of prison, and he got the Christian, and he got his boots on the ground, and all this and that. What the fuck has Kilroy done? What does Victory Outreach do for the community and the raza at large? Before I begin, I want you guys to go back, those who have a copy of Renee Boxer Enriquez's book, and read where he says, and in fact it is true, Kilroy paroled from Pelican Bay SHU under protective custody status. As a matter of fact, he was placed in Pelican Bay SHU for protective custody status because he wasn't safe on an SNY yard either. Okay? So miss me with that shit. Kilroy is dead for his community. The motherfucker is a piece of shit. Snitch influencer. Like Flacco. Like Boxer Mendoza. Like Mundo Mendoza. Chekhov J-Hands. Powder and all these Michael Thompsons. Dubs V. All these fucking lames. Okay? So miss me with that shit. Like I said, what has Victory Outreach and Kilroy done for his community? And I want you to think about that for a moment. Because Victory Outreach is probably the biggest church group whose mass amount of followers are ex-gang members, ex-convicts, people who've been in prison, know what it's like, people who've been in the streets and know what it's like. What the fuck have they done? They don't support the hunger strikes. They weren't rallying for the end of hostilities. They don't do anything for their formerly friends that are incarcerated. They don't do shit for nothing unless you're part of their church cult. They might hand out a turkey here and a backpack there, to build community rapport, but they're not at a protest for immigration rights, for bettering the barrio. They're not organizing peace treaties between gangs, helping families bury their loved ones that have died. No, instead they're telling them, hey, you can have your church service, you can have the service for the funeral at our house or at our church if you let us fucking bombard the guests with a bunch of propaganda to join our church. Again, what have they done for the community? What has Kilroy done for the community? Nothing. So I don't want to hear shit on the comments that I forgot Kilroy or that Kilroy did good for the community. No, he didn't. Okay? If I guess you guys aren't aware that Kilroy, whenever he did interviews with people, were held secret because he didn't want people to know where he was because he's a PC. His movie about Kilroy was produced and financed by the same individuals that produced and financed Mundo Mendoza's movie. Law enforcement. Okay? Miss me with that one. That guy is buddy with CDCR. They let him go into prison to fucking manipulate other people to go into PC. So I don't want to hear that shit. What I want to hear are comments of support for Johnny. That fuck yeah, the guy should become a lawyer. Fuck yeah, he needs to get out and be free. So that way he can tell us how they've been manipulating us for years. Like I don't tell you guys too, right? But shit, we're almost going to be at 40 minutes. I don't want to run this long. But please drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Please go on to the Hood Stocks channel and watch the interview with Johnny Martinez. Leave a comment, okay? Go on to Solid Behind Blue Eyes and watch Brent Daniels' last two lives and pay attention. How a lot of the stuff that he says falls along the same lines as Johnny Martinez. Active's story has remained the same since day one. I can show you articles and letters from incarcerated people in 1967 who are alleged to be founders of these organizations, saying the same shit that Johnny's saying today and the same shit Brant Daniels is saying, the same shit Todd Ashker's saying, the same shit Ronnie Yontel's saying. Okay? The story has never changed. And if we were law enforcement and we were interrogators, the number one thing we look for a liar would be inconsistencies and not sticking to your story. And I'm telling you, I can show you from 1967 to today, the story of actives, the story of the mass incarcerated, the ones who are in the adjustment centers, maximum security, and Pelican Bay Shoe, story has never fucking changed. So with that said, always stay strapped with your critical thinking hats on, because there indeed is a war out for your minds. And always stay 113 and 114% activated. Okay? Now with that said, a clenched fist salute y venceremos, YouTube Renegades.